and studying your beautiful face. Say hello. Hey everyone, so I am Nicole with Aligned Life. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the first time that you're here. And welcome to my dog, Copper. Technically my dad's dog, but we don't need to talk about that. Which my father is downstairs making a lot of noise, so I apologize for all of the background noise that you'll hear in this video. He said he was going to be quiet. It's not happening. So I wanted to do this video on some of the books that have helped me with my, I don't even know what to call it, personal development, mindset, journey. Sure. So I did just put out a recent podcast that kind of goes over a little bit of my background. I was involved in a MLM, which I am not involved in anymore, but more on that later. But I did really get into the personal development world while I was working with that company. So I have a lot of books that I've read. I had probably 2 years where I went really hard into personal development books. So I have a lot of books that I've read, a lot of ones that I would recommend, and yeah, just wanted to share them with you guys. So if you are interested in the personal development, mindset, manifestation worlds, these are some of the books that I would recommend for you. They've helped me a lot. So Copper, we need to settle down and stop biting me. Am I gonna have to lock you out? Yeah? So this is the first book that I think really helped me understand the science, I guess you could say, of how you literally can change your mindset and how your personality does not have to dictate your future, and how basically you can change your mind. So this is one of the very first books that I remember reading where I had, I guess you can say, a big aha moment. I remember exactly where I was when I was reading this book. It was about 4 years ago. It's about 3 or 4 years ago when I was in the construction industry, so I had to wait for this inspector to show up. And I was sitting in the parking lot reading this book, and I remember the exact moment when I finally realized that, like, I could actually change the trajectory of my life, and that I don't have to be like stuck with my mindset or my beliefs or my, I guess, flaws you could say in regards to my personality. Like, I always kind of felt that in order to be successful you had to either be really smart or have a family that kind of led you into that world. And so now that I've gotten more into the entrepreneurial space, because I've always wanted to start my own business, I've been able to change my mindset a lot. I definitely had a fixed mindset, and so reading this book helped me realize that you literally can change your mind and change your life. And this was the first book that I remember reading where it hit me really hard. I really loved this book because it went into a lot of the science of how your mind works. I'm very logical. I've realized that I need facts and science in order to kind of convince me that something's true. So this book helped me a lot to understand that I could actually change my mindset and create the life that I wanted. Would highly recommend. My dog Copper is running around, and his little pitter patters of his feet are going to be all over this video, so I'm sorry. Again, with me being very logical and needing the science to back up like the proof of personal development and personal change, I ended up finding Dr. Joe Dispenza online and reading all of his books. This is his most recent one, Becoming Supernatural. I would probably recommend to read this one first, and then this one second. This one is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. He also has a third book, which I don't have here, but I have read, which is The Placebo. All of his books are very science heavy, but they are easy reads, so you don't have to be super smart to read them to understand what's going on. But his books are all about personal transformation, personal development, creating the life that you want, and breaking the habit of being yourself. They really fall into like the manifestation, personal development world. He does a lot of work on healing when it comes to like diagnosis of like certain illnesses and stuff. I've been to his live events. I actually did put a YouTube video out about my experience at his live events. I've been to 4 of them, so I know his work very well, and I will link that video below if you are interested in his teachings. He has so many interviews online that I would highly suggest to listen to. He's probably my top teacher that I listen to in regards to the personal development field, just because he is so scientific based. I have a hard time with the spiritual community when it's so woo-woo, because I just need facts in order to believe things, because that's how my mind works. So these 3, the other one that's not here, I would highly recommend to read those ones and to dive into anything with Dr. Joe Dispenza. His work is very in-depth. He has a lot of scientific research to follow up all of his content, which is very helpful. Also in the manifestation world, these ones are a little bit, I don't want to say woo-woo. Money and the Law of Attraction is something that I have always been very much interested. I think money is a very interesting topic. It's fascinating to see how different people handle their money, because I think a lot of wealth has to do with your mindset. So this one is a little bit more spiritual. It doesn't really go into any science or anything. Abraham Hicks is a spiritual teacher, but I do really love this book when it comes to changing your money mindset to bring in more abundance. My channel is all about bringing in more abundance and creating the life that you want. So this one is definitely a keeper. I have a lot of notes in it. This teacher is probably the second teacher that I listen to, I guess you could say, the most. I don't really like to fully adapt to the beliefs of any one person or spiritual teacher. I kind of just like to pick and choose what feels right to me within the spiritual community and go with that. And if I've learned anything from being in an MLM and living in Utah and being very much indoctrined into the religious aspects of everything, I definitely don't like the idea of just having one set mindset. I want to be able to be open to every teaching and kind of pick and choose what I feel and think is right for me, and not just believe what everyone else is telling me. So that's where I've come to. But this book, I really love it. If you're interested in working on your money mindset, highly recommend. As far as just the personal development world, I have all of the books from Jen Zero. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I have You Are a Badass at Making Money, You Are a Badass, just in general, and then Badass Habits. Copper, again with the noises. This one, not gonna lie, I have not gotten through this one yet. I was in such a good flow of like reading 2 years ago. Also, again, due to the MLM I was in, but I've really fallen off on reading lately, so I'm trying to get back on that habit. But this one is one that I have only read a few chapters of so far, so I can't give much details on that, but I do love this author. All of her books are very practical and very like motivational. Like, all of her books give you a lot of confidence and just really good tips and tricks on how to switch your mindset for success. So if you can't tell, I really liked her books. These books have been marked up a lot. There's sticky notes and a lot of highlighter notes. So if you can't tell, these two I really did love, if that's not obvious. And also in alignment with the money mindset, which I said is my favorite topic. So this book I was recommended to by my friend. It's called A Happy Pocket Full of Money. Can you lay down? Because your little pitter patter of your toenails is very loud. So this one really dives into quantum science. Not a ton. It is a really easy read, but it does kind of back up a lot of the work that Joe Dispenza does. A lot of his stuff is also based on quantum physics, again, science. This one goes a lot into the energy around money. So if you do believe in manifestation and kind of have a little bit of a spiritual belief that everything is created of energy, then this one is definitely such a good read to pick up. It really helps with your mindset, and it really helps just to explain what money is, how it works, and the energy behind it. So when you start to get into the personal development world, you realize how much mindset is like the key factor to so many different things. And this book is really interesting because it really touches on why some people are more successful or have more abundance than others based off of their mindset and how they handle their energy, feelings, emotions, whatever you want to call it, around the topic of money. So highly recommended this one. I loved this book. So I put this book in here not because I've even read it or I would recommend it, just because I wanted to kind of touch base on, I guess, my viewpoint of things. A lot of people talk about manifestation and are introduced into manifestation by the book called The Secret. This one is not the first book. This one is actually the second book that Dave came out with. I don't even think I have the first one, to be honest, nor do I think I've read it. I did watch the documentary that they have out that's called The Secret. I liked that movie, but honestly it wasn't a huge thing for me. Everyone always talks about how they got into manifestation through the book The Secret, and that is not what happened for me. I actually really got into it through Dr. Joe Dispenza's work and learning about quantum science. So again, more logical minded, I guess you could say. The Secret is very not scientific, kind of is a little woo-woo to me, which, coming from a religious structured background, I was always a little nervous and a little afraid of to get into the spiritual community because it made me uncomfortable. Now that I understand what it is, obviously I don't have the same feelings towards it. So if you don't need as much of the science to back things up, these books are good for that because they don't deal with anything in regards to that. They just go off of the energy and basically how to manifest. Again, I feel like this book recommendation is more about money mindset than anything else. But I wanted to put this one in here. I, to be honest, have not finished this book, but I do absolutely love it. I'm like halfway through. I'm on chapter 4. The reason why I struggle with this book is because it is a workbook. She has chapters, there's a lot of content in it, but at the end of every chapter there's homework for you to do and journal prompts for you to reflect on. So this one has taken me so long to get through, just because when I did really dive into the personal development world, I did so much work. I dived into so many programs and they all were so like work heavy that I kind of got burnt out, just because I was like, okay, like I'm learning so much information, I'm changing a lot of things, my beliefs are changing. I just need a second to chill and not work. So these ones have been a little bit harder for me to get through, but I do absolutely love this book so far and her content. Amanda Francis is someone that I follow on Instagram. I love all of her stuff. I think she's a really good teacher in the money mindset field. She also does have the complimentary journal that you can get along with the workbook. You don't necessarily need it because all the prompts are in here, but this just helps me keep myself a little bit more accountable, I've noticed when I got this, because I wanted to fill it out more. So again, I'm on chapter 4 in here as well. So it's just more of like a reflective book. So yeah, those two go together. I do love following all her content on Instagram. I would highly recommend her, as well as Manifestation Babe by Catherine Zenkina. I think that's how you say her last name. Both of those are people on Instagram that are very into money mindset. So I've bought programs from both of these girls and I really love their content, so highly recommend that. So again, all of those books are ones that have impacted me the most. They're the ones that I remember the most and that helped me out with really just creating more of an open mindset and realizing that anyone can have anything. You just really have to align with it and work towards it. So I will link all of these books in the description below if you want to dive into any of them. Also, if you have any questions about the books, Copper, myself, just let me know in the comments below. And of course, if you like these videos, please like and subscribe because they really help my channel. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Copper Bubba, say goodbye. Say goodbye to the people. Okay, say bye. Bye. Say, see you next time.